Well, it's a drug that addiction treatment centers here in Connecticut are reporting is being abused more and more. We're talking about nitrous oxide.
Yeah, and that abuse is on the rise, especially among young people. Joining us now to talk more about this growing problem and the warning signs is Dr. Craig Allen, the Vice President of Addiction Services at Hartford Healthcare. Dr. Allen, welcome. You see patients dealing with addiction firsthand. What are you seeing when it comes to nitrous oxide abuse, and would you say there's been an increase, an uptick in cases in recent years?
Well, the data shows that there has, and our treatment centers have seen people that actually have developed substance use disorder with nitrous oxide. The presentation of someone who has an addiction, there can be similarities, but this is a substance that is marketed. I'll say marketed on social media as something that's fun and something that's safe. And so it's used recreationally, but those aren't the people that I see, and those aren't the people that I'm as concerned about. People that develop the addiction are the ones that are at the greatest risk of developing some really severe complications.
And Dr. Allen, how does nitrous oxide impact users, particularly young people?
Yeah. Well, it makes you feel good. It makes you feel high. Euphoric is the term that's used, like a lot of other substances do. That's the initial phase. But the way that it is ingested, and it's through balloons and different things that can cut off your oxygen. There are some initial risks right there. But if you use this frequently enough, it can affect your balance. One of the classic signs is actually numbness in your face and in your hands and your feet. And it can cause cognitive impairment as well as psychiatric and neuropsychiatric problems. It's really a severe disorder once someone develops an addiction.
Now, in the past, doctor, kids have gotten access to nitrous oxide in the form of whipped cream canisters known as whippets, but this stuff is actually marketed and sold in some smoke shops and online, although it's against the law to sell it to minors in Connecticut. Would you say accessibility is part of the problem?
Absolutely. Kevin, accessibility is part of the problem, and the way that it is popularized on social media, where the emphasis is on fun and safety, and there's not much mention about what the negative outcomes can be. But it's accessible, it's out there, and there are companies that actually sell it as a food, an additive, a flavored additive.
Lastly, doctor, let's talk about the warning signs that parents should be looking out for.
Yeah. So you're going to look for these canisters that might be around, or balloons that might be used to put the gas into and inhale it. And your kid, complaining of numbness, or suddenly they're clumsy, or they have balance problems. But also the psychological effects, depression, anxiety, memory issues. Those are all things that you might notice as a parent.
Dr. Craig Allen from Hartford Healthcare, as always, thank you for your time and expertise. We appreciate it.